Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right and yet nothing was moving? You've done all the visualizations, you've practiced the affirmations, you've taken the steps, and yet you feel as though you are pushing against an invisible wall. In our culture, we have a specific word for this. It's stuck. We treat stuckness as if it's a problem to be solved, a mountain to be climbed, or most painfully, as a sign of personal failure. We assume that if the door isn't opening, then we simply aren't pushing hard enough. But what if I told you that stuckness is not a stop sign? From the level of higher consciousness, stuckness is a divine interruption. It is the universe's way of withdrawing its support from a path that no longer fits the version that you are becoming. It's not a failure of effort, it's a signal of evolution. Today, we're going to look beneath the frustration and see the redirection for what it truly is, a return to alignment. Why do we feel stuck? Usually, it's because we are trying to achieve a new result using an old identity. We often try to manifest from the version of ourselves that is still seeking validation, still operating from lack, or still trying to prove something to the world. When you reach a certain level of awareness, that old frequency can no longer sustain the life that you're calling in. So the stuckness you feel is actually a friction between where you are and where you're meant to be. Think of a seed inside a shell. There comes a point when the shell becomes too small and the seed feels like it's a prison. It feels like there's a wall and it's stuck. And the pressure that builds is exactly what is needed to break the shell so that the seed can finally meet the soil. If your life feels tight right now, it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you've outgrown the container. When we feel stuck, our natural instinct is to apply more force. We work longer hours, we try new techniques, and we get louder. But force is the language of the ego. It assumes that you are separate from your creation and that you must wrestle your desires to reality. But alignment is totally different. Alignment is the recognition that the life you desire is already a finished frequency, and your only job is to match it. And when you are aligned, there is no stuck. There is only the next natural movement. If you are pushing and the door isn't budging, stop pushing. Sit down, turn around. Often, the reason you are stuck at the door is because there is a much larger, more beautiful entrance right behind you that you've been too busy to notice. Stuckness is the pause that allows you to look around. It is that silence that allows you to hear the quiet this way of your higher self. When we perceive ourselves as failing, our nervous system goes into a state of contraction. We enter survival mode. And in survival mode, your peripheral vision totally disappears, both physically and metaphorically. You cannot see the opportunities when you are convinced that you are under threat. This is why I often say that a calm nervous system organizes reality. When you stop labeling your situation as stuck and start labeling it as recalibrating, your body automatically softens, your breath deepens, and you move from a narrow focus of the mind into an expansive awareness of the soul. In that spaciousness, the answer usually appears. And it almost never looks like the solution that you were trying to force. It looks like an invitation, a random phone call, an unexpected idea, or a sudden feeling of, I should go there today. These are movements of alignment. They don't require force. They require availability. I want to speak to the part of you that feels like you've lost time. The part of you that looks at others and feels behind. In the realm of pure consciousness, there is no such thing as being behind. There is only the eternal now. The time that you spent stuck was not wasted. It was a gestation period. It was the time required for your nervous system to stabilize so that your identity could shift and the old versions of you could fall away. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what is coming next. The moment you stop resisting stuckness and start leaning into the peace of the pause, the energy begins to move again. Not because you fixed it, but because you stopped blocking it with your frustration. Rest in the knowing that you cannot miss what's truly yours. If a path is closed, it's because it was a detour. If a door is locked, it's because the room inside is too small for the version of you that is emerging. Trust the redirection. Trust the silence. Trust yourself. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend who needs to hear this today. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. I intend this created clarity to live fully and freely with gratitude. I'll see you soon.